See you 1 minute again. Leave nothing in your wake. And definitely don't stop. Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I want to give you a quick overview of the current build guide for the Whirlwind Barb and all the information and improvements that we have made here for this amazing build. This is one of my fan favorite and also my favorite build, the Spin2Win Barb. It's a ton of fun to play. It does a ton of damage. We have a ton of main stat. We have a ton of earthquakes that we can proc here. And I want to go over this real quick. I'm probably going to make a follow-up more in-depth video, but this is a quick overview and some gameplay plus updated planners in the description. So the main principle of the build is we are using Whirlwind to proc the Igni rune, and this one will proc the tech rune that gives us these earthquakes. So whenever I just tap my Whirlwind, like tap, I'm going to spawn an earthquake. And whenever I tap it again, I'm also going to spawn another earthquake. You do not want to hold down Whirlwind. Look what happens when I hold it down. This is what it looks like when I hold it down. I do not spawn any earthquakes holding down my Whirlwind. You want to tap, 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 you know, whenever you see monsters. If you don't tap, it's not going to reproc your Igni rune. So that's very important, and that's the main principle of this build. You do need the tech rune, and you do need either Igni, or alternatively, you can play bug rune. If you don't have either of those, you can also play Q or Sam or Moni with lunging strike. That's basically the main principle. And if you don't have any of those runes, I do not recommend playing this build. Start with Upheaval. That's, first of all, the main principle. And then we scale our earthquake damage. Our Whirlwind itself is not dealing any damage. All of our damage is coming from our earthquake because we have aspect of the earthquake on the weapon, more than double damage, and another 50%. We have another aspect of the earthquakes here, more than double damage again. And then on top of this, we also have this aspect here that gives us more damage based on our strength. So this one gives me currently 700 because I already have 5000 strength. And we're gonna talk how you get that in a bit here. But you can even get way, way more strength even. Because you have this like power here that gives you more primary stat the more monsters you hit. I only hit 5 monsters here. I can have up to 6000 main stat here right now. And I think in the end game we can have up to 7000 strength. So it's getting completely ridiculous. Then we're also using Heavy Hitter. This is another big multiplier for all your earthquakes. And you can kind of see where this is going. Like we have so many multipliers for our earthquake, and I don't even have like the perfect masterworks, or I don't even have the greater affix on most of my items. And we can already speed farm 100 in under 90 seconds. And this is also how I was able to accumulate so much Paragon and so much power already. So the helm here is Harlequin's Crest. You can also play the Ugly Bastard. However, for speedruns, I really like Harlequin's Crest, because it gives you cooldown reduction, which is going to help you a ton with your shouts. You can see here the shouts are like rocking like crazy already. Then we are using the Mantle of the Mountain's Fury. We don't use Hoda right now because there's still a bug where if you use Hoda, it's doing less damage than if you let your Earthquake run out. There's some multipliers not working. It's dealing less than half the damage that you're expected to do. Plus, this is a speed setup. This is not a push setup. This is what we use to speed farm. We basically move and deal damage, and all the enemies, as you will see in the gameplay footage, will just run in our Earthquakes and basically just melt. Then we're rocking Fist of Fate, simply the highest multiplier. We also use it to apply crowd controls. It's going to help you with survivability. It also gives you a tremendous amount of crit chance, and with 1.5 multiplicative on average, the highest multiplier you can get here. Then Ariad's Bearing. This one is fixing all your resistance needs. You see, it gives me 70 resi. I didn't even fully masterwork it. It also helps you with the Call of the Ancients cooldown. And this also helps you with your Fury issues. Because, let me spend some Fury here. You see, if I cast my Ancients, and as long as they attack the enemies here, we're basically getting a Fury from the Ancients. And at least when Quake hits them with Frenzy. It doesn't always happen. Other good ways to get your Fury is Ground Stomp. You see, like if I run out, you can just use Ground Stomp to fill your Fury. Also, Rallying Cry gives you even more Fury. Plus, Whirlwind also gives you Fury when you hit enemies. You see here, my Fury just stays up whenever I hit something. And when I don't hit anything, it goes down. I also use Fury on Kill on the weapon. You can also use the Raft Lift to get even more Fury. Then I'm rocking Doom Threads here. This one has a lot of movement speed. You want to have overstacked movement speed. Because if you don't, then when you Whirlwind, you're not going to be at the cap. So you just want to make sure that when you Whirlwind, that you also at the movement speed cap. Let me see here real quick. Where's movement speed? There, 188. And you see when we spin, we still have 200. That's the most important. And that's what you want to aim for. If you don't have this, play the unstoppable movement speed here. Else you can play Whirlwind Pull, or you can play Daze if you want more damage. The Daze aspect is a good combination with Fist of Fate, because that's also triggering your Daze. Then we have the aspect of the Earthquakes here. Here you want Chance for Earthquake, close damage, and also Berserking are both multipliers. And you're getting your Force of Nature multiplier down here. This one you want to be at 200x. And you're getting your Blood Rage multiplier. This one you want at 45x. So definitely want enough close and Berserking damage. And then you want 100% chance to Earthquake to cast twice. However, you know, it doesn't stack higher than 100%. So 100% is the max you can get, and that's the max you should get. Then we have Heavy Hitter on the other weapons here. I use the damage active while Warcry, because I already have enough close and Berserking. You will have Overkill. And then try to triple crit Heavy Hitter. We're going to constantly cast our ultimates, you see here. Our ultimate basically doesn't have a cooldown, and I can just keep casting it. Boom, you see, ultimate. Then we can cast the 3 shouts. Ultimate again. So this one is permanently up if we want to, and we just constantly get the stuff. And we also get the bonuses here from Call of the Ancients. Then we are using a pole arm right now in the offhand. This allows our Whirlwind to inflict bleed, because polearm is a slashing weapon. And with that we get the bleed. That's going to help us a lot. You can just simply select it here. Alternatively, you can also run Mace and pick up these 2, Outburst and Tough as Nails, to trigger your bleeds. However, I like the Whirlwind. It's like super chill. And Mace Whirlwinding doesn't do anything as far as I know. Because there's some bugs with the Earthquakes where they don't benefit from all the multipliers. However, there is, even if it works, the pole arm still outperforms the Mace, because you get a 15x while healthy, while on Mace you also get a 15x when you're Berserking to crit. So they're like around the same, but pole arm is super cool, and again you can apply the slashing. And then X expertise here. Then we rock a Starless Sky. If you don't have this, you can also use, there's alternatives in the planner. We basically have 3 different setups. So there is a low Paragon version, Paragon 200, no Ubers. We use Retribution, which we can very nicely use combined with Groundstone, because we stun everything, and with Fist of Fate as well, and then we get another 35x multiplier. However, Starless Sky is best in slot. So there's a Paragon 200 version with no Ubers. There's a Paragon 230 versions with Ubers, and then there's a high Paragon version. Like, no one is 290 yet, but it's there for you, and you can see the Paragon board basically. Then on the amulets, Transpercent is the most important here. We use Leap, triggers Earthquakes. However, we don't use any Leap on our skill bar, because the main reason why we use it is we get double damage, and we get 30% damage reduction if we just are in an Earthquake. So you have a lot of size on boots, size on amulet. You want to have 100% size. I'm pretty close. I have like 97 or something like that. So it's still pretty good. And that's pretty much the setup. I also have Vulnerable on the ring right now, just to reapply it. We have a ton of lucky hit. Our Whirlwind is already at pretty high lucky hit chances, 40% almost. And then, yeah, again, Igni Tech, Bug Garun, and alternatives. Again, you can use the ultimate rune here if you want, if you don't have a Bug rune, for example. Or if you want to use Bug here if you don't have the Igni rune. You can just use the ultimate, I don't know what it's called, like the ultimate rune that gives you offering when you have an ultimate, and boom, you're going to get good stuff here as well. Well, yeah, these are my stats here. I'm kind of like not fully buffed, I guess. But I'm going to have like 7,000 strength. Like I'll show you a more in-depth guide soon. Skill tree looks like this here, basically. Just Whirlwind with slashing. Then we have 1 point here for vulnerable. But it's mainly just to get a point, because we can't get rid of it to unlock the next section. We maxed Groundstorm. It gives cooldown. It also allows you to stun the enemies. And yeah, just triggers more Earthquakes. I use this every time I see an elite. I just Groundstorm, and then I keep going. You'll see in the footage. And then we max out No Mercy, we max out Pit Fighter, we max out Slaying Strike, we max out Battle Fever, because our Ground Stomp will keep our Berserking up. We use Warcry maxed, Challenging Shout, well, movement speed here if you still need it to hit the cap. Right now there's a bug with aggressive resistance where more than 1 point doesn't make sense. So unfortunately this is bugged. Until Blizzard fixes it, we can't use it. Else we would max this one here. And then, yeah, just the DPS multipliers here, counter-offensive. We also use defensive statue. This is like defensive stance. This is pretty cool. It also gives you a ton of healing. Then we max out Coda, we max out Heavy Hitter. This is the most important passive, big multiplier here. Heavy-handed because we use a two-hander, plus unconstrained. Paragon board looks like this right now. So you can follow the planner. Territorial for the close damage multiplier for Force of Nature. Then we have Decimator here with Challenger for big strength. I'm still like, putting points here to populate this completely. Because the strength is double dipping. We're getting base main stat multiplier, plus we're getting the Earth Executioner's multiplier. So that one is incredibly strong. Then we have Decimator. We don't have a constant resource of overpower. We basically rely on the 3%. At the moment, we'll see if we're going to change this in the future, but it's still going to trigger every now and then, and we're still going to get the 1.2x from Vulnerable, and occasionally, just from the base multiplier, from the base chance, we get the overpower multiplier. Then we have Force of Nature, obviously here with Martial, and Martial really helps you. You can like multiply the close damage here. You see, okay, right now, even without Martial, I have a bit of overkill. But if you have good gear and you masterwork it all, like you're going to have overkill on Force of Nature. But yeah, the Martial is really nice here to multiply your close. I also put like a few points here in the Dex, just gives you more crit chance basically. You want to reach 100% crit chance. Then we have the Rumble glyph here. This is the best glyph. Populate all the strength, 1500 additive almost. This is also why additive, like vulnerable or crit on gear, is like not really that relevant because you already have so much additive. Blood Rage and all the life nodes. And then finally here we have Exploit. This one can also be Wrath if you're struggling with Fury, guys. You can use Wrath. It also depends if you want to use the vulnerable Witch Power or not. I almost said Vampiric Power again. If you use the Witch Power. So I use Exploit right now because I don't use the Witch Power. These are my Witch Powers. Piranado, I already have it at rank 5. Then we have Aura Specialization, plus Aura of Siphoning, plus Hex of Whispers, plus Soul Harvest. And now the last one here is kind of optional. You can either use Hex Specialization, or you can use the one that makes stuff vulnerable. Where is it at? Okay, Hex of Whispers we use anyways. Hex of Shattering was an option we used before for damage reduction. Yeah, there's basically like a vulnerable power. What the fuck is it called? I saw too many, man. So we can kind of see here. Vulnerable. Shaken Soul, there it is. Edge effect, apply vulnerable. However, then you need to take an edge effect. So I like the Exploit variant. However, if you're really struggling with Fury, you can also take Wrath up here. But then you just need to figure out vulnerable. Like you can use it with... I have it, for example, on the Ring as well. And there's just many different options. And you just have to see whatever works best for you. You can also just Groundstorm, right? Groundstorm makes the stuff vulnerable. However, that doesn't really apply to all the Thresh mobs because you want to go fast, right? You don't have time to Groundstorm every mob. But you can also just rely on Groundstorm. It gives you Berserking, gives you vulnerable. That's also fine. I use Exploits though because I just want to do full speedruns. If you want to push high pits, you definitely don't want to use Exploit. And if you are struggling with Fury, again, the Wrath, because you have 100% crit chance, the Wrath is your friend. Because it basically allows you to get these 3 Fury per every spin. And that's going to be pretty good. But yeah, I'll show you some gameplay here, guys. The character is tremendously powerful. This is definitely one of the fastest speed farmer in the season. And maybe they'll even fix the Hodor bug at some point. And then the Hodor barb is also going to go crazy. It's still pretty strong, even with the bug where you only deal half the damage when you explode the earthquakes. Hope you enjoyed, my friends, and enjoy some full and fun gameplay. And I will make an in-depth guide soon, and I'll probably also include a full FAQ. So if you have any questions about the build, like something I didn't explain yet, or some stuff that you still want to know, leave it in the comments below, and I will do my best to make a follow-up video answering all your questions. Hope you enjoyed. Let's go, GG. Here we go, Barbarian, Druid, 100 Blast. Let's go. Ultra speedruns, lots of fun. Chop. They just run the earthquakes and they all melt. Or here, Deutsche Autobahn again. Just use Groundstorm when we see the packs. Stomp on them, very angry. This is a ton of progress. And like that, we just finish in 1 minute. Let's go. The boss, 1 ground stomp, few earthquakes, cataclysm. Take the orbs, take the key. Can't upgrade any gems, unfortunately, because I already have leveled all my gems yesterday to level 100. The Druid is going. I have this Turael Transmog. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick to it. Same map yet again. Best are open maps where we can split. No, we should run on 2 different sides. Yes. Last wave shrine. The earthquake leaves just destruction. Man, the cataclysm has such a big range. It looks so funny. Leave nothing in your wake. And definitely don't stop. Yeah, the engines are pretty cool. I really like them. Boom! Get the orbs. Get everything. DW, thanks for the prime. Let's go. Yeah, this is a ton of fun, guys, this build. And the Druid, man. The Druid is insane. Oh, we got another double GA, but don't need. Hex of Whisperers is back in the game. Hell yeah. I got Piranado also. Like, it's pixel pulling. Like, basically everything in the back is getting pixel pulled back into my earthquakes. And you definitely want to be tapping your Whirlwind. Don't hold, tap. Oh, here Alta. We bring destruction. Alta keeps upgrading my power. My Piranado is already rank 5. Why sound that end? We're getting about an Alta every 10 runs. Well, maybe it's a bit less. You just need to make sure you use your potion. But we're definitely getting more than 1 Alta per hour. You just want to aim sub 90 seconds, guys. That's the goal. Sub 90 seconds for the entire run. What does tapping do? It reprocs the Igni rune. If I just hold it, my earthquakes don't proc. Unless I play bug. But Igni, you can basically, oh, triple GA. You can basically trigger it every 0.3 seconds. This one I can keep. Rallying Cry is not that great though. Like if you read the Igni rune, every 0.3 seconds you can use a non-basic skill. Whirlwind is that, so I can just keep tapping Whirlwind and proc. I'll show you here in the run. It's a big showcase. I mean, the planner is going to be linked below. ! Build. You see here, if I'm not proccing anything, if I'm just walking, it obviously doesn't proc. So whenever I see a monster, I just do a quick spin, and you see it spawns an earthquake. Like whenever I do a spin, here, boom. And this way I can also target the earthquakes. It's giving you more control than with bug. So I can just leave the earthquakes where I want them to be, where the monsters are. Like, see here, boom. I just leave the earthquake by tapping. So here, let's say here, boom. I can just earthquake, earthquake, and then it also pulls it by Piranado. But if I just hold it, there's no earthquakes, basically. Need to tap to get the earthquakes. Boom, 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 And then obviously Ground Stomp can also trigger Igni, and then you can get 1 Earthquake from the Ground Stomp, and then you get 1 Earthquake from Igni plus Tech. And then obviously I have chance to double the Earthquake, so whenever I spawn 1 Earthquake, it spawns 2. So if I push Ground Stomp plus Igni, it spawns 4 Earthquakes total. Right? Here again, we do 1 minute run, let's go. So you can stack the chance. You see here, 80% chance on this weapon. I also have the Fury on kill. That helps me with the Fury. It helps a lot. This is the entire gear. If you want to check it. But yeah, the planner is going to be linked below. And this is the rest of the gear. Pretty basic stuff. But no slack, we go. These are the powers. We got Piranado at 5, so 20 seconds cooldown, 20 seconds uptime. It's nuts. It's really good. Look at the earthquakes, man. It's definitely one of my favorite maps, this one. It's just like a straight line, and you just like blast, blast, blast with the quakes, man. You just go Quake. And the good thing is, like, the monsters, they try to chase you in the back, and then they just keep walking into the earthquakes, basically. They're all walking in there. Chop, chop. Here, blast wave. Extra shock waves on top of this. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, here we found dead end. Get these guys real quick. Another one, you use Ground Stomp. So you see, I just control it. Like here, boom, earthquake, earthquake. Boss spawn. It goes very quick. See, 1 minute again. Den Mother also you want to control. Spawn into earthquake again. And then here. It's a ton of fun, guys. Hell yeah, the booty is... Oh, there's a pack here in the back. You see, sometimes it can be very beneficial to also, like, stick to the back. Just blast some packs, if you notice it in a dead end, like, it's definitely worth killing. And your party member, if you're playing in a party. But you can also do the solo. Again, in solo, they really, like, aggro well into the earthquakes. But here it's also very beneficial to... make sure that the packs die in the back, because then you don't have to rush that crazy as long as one guy is rushing ahead and making progress towards the end. That's already super bueno. Here, boom, another pack and boss spawn. Pretty much. Bam, get him. And then also another trick, like you just want to port out via the leave dungeon key. So I just have it on hotkey. And then I can just leave, because this puts me right next to... You see it here? Right next to the pylon, and then I can open or accept instantly, and I don't have to walk, and I can just instantly go in. Now obviously this would be even faster, because I just pressed the hotkey instead of showing you. So I lost like 2-3 seconds there. And then we go again. Whenever you can split, we should definitely split. We always want to like not go the same way. If the map looks like this, you want to definitely split. So just make a quick decision. Like here again, the map splits. And you basically want to take both ways. Well, I took a dead end. It doesn't matter, so we can like kill all the stuff. Then I'll catch up after. But it's still extra progression basically. That's why we get like a ton of extra benefit from doing it like that. Okay, and here again we split. I go straight, he goes left. But sometimes you get bad layouts, right? Like this one here is not that great. Like you basically guaranteed to run into some dead ends in this layout. See here again, dead end again. And now it's gonna be almost impossible, so I'm just gonna be focusing on cleaning stuff up. But look, he makes it pretty clean. Like there's only a few monsters left here. Because you also have the Cataclysm going. I can go up here. Boom, boom, boom. And then we met the boss. Still 90 seconds, even though this was like worst map possible, basically. Or close to it. Law, thanks so much, man. Let's go. Yeah, I'm having a ton of fun with this build. This is our powers. Piranado, Aura, Hex of Whispers, Soul Harvest, Hex Specialization. And then expertise is X, and we're using Polearm on Whirlwind because it's giving us bleeding. The bleed is good. Just a bit over explanation. Go the other way. Okay, good. Yeah, always split. See, there's just some blind communication at some point. It can be complete RNG like Utex, but like sometimes you just end up in a dead end. But that's fine. And here, this map is not the open one. There's two versions of this map. One is like open, where you can split like super easy. And this one here is still decent, but not that crazy for splitting. I don't want to split up always. Polearm gives lucky hit chance. There's a rank 10 effect on the Polearm. However, there seems to be some bug with the expertise stuff, where the earthquakes don't benefit from a lot of the expertise. We have to do some in-depth testing, but that's how it looks right now. Not really any crazy benefit. Okay, here you see we got also a Gamba.